Welcome to episode 57 of Shane Talks, the last episode of 2021. And if you haven't been paying attention, did you notice the intro at the beginning of this episode? Every time I hear the music that Michael Winters did for this show, I love it. I love it every time I hear it. As always, I am joined by Jason L. Mayer for the last time in 2021. And so this episode, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff that we enjoyed in 2021. Last year, we took some polls online, and we had a whole lot of. So we had Jason Richardson and Evan Miller on here with us, and we talked about a lot of stuff. I think it was a super long episode. Now we're trying to do our hour-long episodes that usually end up being 90 minutes long. But so this year, it's just going to be Jason and I talking about 2021 stuff and the stuff that we enjoyed. We always start talking about drinking, beer usually. This year I got Brewdog's 12 NA beers of Christmas because, I'm trying to drink NAs these days, and being a part owner of Brewdog, I thought I'd support that. And unfortunately, it's sucked pretty badly. Oh, Jason L. Mayer is drinking the Moobies beer from when Kevin Smith's Moobies came to Indianapolis, and I snagged him one of them.
You did. And it's all right.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it. Yeah.
At least it's not an IPA. For
sure. Yep. It was kind of, I probably liked the Louisville one a little bit better. I think it was a little lighter and crispier. This kind of has a little more flavor to it, but not necessarily like great flavor. So as I said, most of the beers I've had from this Brewdog NA thing have sucked. For tonight, I saved the two shandies that were a part of it. One of them is a lemon pastry shandy, so we'll see how that goes. And the other one is a mint lemonade shandy. So I don't really have high hopes for that either. But I'm going to tell you this. In all of these NA reviews that I've had to do thus far, and I've pretty much hated every NA that I've had to drink, I've found one. This is Untitled Arts NA, which is a s'mores beer. And of course, the camera is not focusing on it.
I thought you mentioned this before.
Yeah, I probably did tell you about it. I unfortunately this is the last one that I've got. didn't make it out to buy any more. I told you I was going to try to get you one for tonight's episode. That didn't happen. I apologize. But it's actually an NA that's not bad. It has good s'moresy, chocolatey, graham crackery flavor to it. So I have finally found an NA that I don't despise drinking. So I'm drinking the last one of them tonight.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah, and it's tasty. So
what have we seen since we last did this?
Well, we didn't even need to jump to that real quick yet. We got some other stuff to talk about before we actually get into movies and entertainment and whatnot. Because let's see, what's the first thing? We'll jump around from the list of shit that I sent you. So first of all, you just got back from Disney between the two episodes that we've done in December of this year. And what exciting thing. We both got to do something super exciting this year, but yours is a lot closer, and I've already talked about mine. What'd you do 2 weeks ago in Disney?
Road Jungle Cruise?
Nah, I don't care about that part.
Yeah. I went and spent a whole lot of money that I probably shouldn't have.
Oh, it's so beautiful, dude.
Made myself a handy dandy weapon of a more civilized time. Lightsaber.
Yeah, here's mine that I made back in July. You and I made very similar ones. We chose the same set to build from, and we only shared one of the four pieces. So it's kind of cool that I did all of my homework before I went, so that I made sure and built the lightsaber I wanted. You took a different approach to it.
Yeah. I tend to not want to know what's going to happen before I go and do fun things. So I didn't study anything. I knew that I think I looked up something by accident and ended up finding out that there were 4 different classifications that you can go with. And but once I figured that I had stumbled across that by accident, I didn't look into it any further. But when I got there, yeah, they give you 4 different choices. It's either Sith. Do you know that?
I don't know the real names now.
I was gonna say like the natural, The
Yeah,
Sith, this is like the Peacekeepers,
sounds right.
and then there was like I want to say like Power or something along those
Sounds
lines.
right.
I can't remember exactly, but yeah. So there's 4 different classifications. Only one of them is kind of like Sith, really. The
Mhm.
rest are different kinds that you can do. And you and I picked the exact same subcategory,
Mhm.
and but made totally different looking lightsabers.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, they're so
Both
beautiful.
sharing the
Uh,
igniter switch.
yeah, the igniter switch is the same.
But yeah, so
Beautiful, man. I absolutely love yours. I was so happy for you. So, did you cry?
no comment.
Were you emotional at all?
No comment.
So that's a yes. Good, because I did too. Totally felt it. It was such like they do a great presentation. Did your guy still have to wear a mask when you did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, I
not.
mean we inside had to wear masks. The person who was doing the presentation did not, I don't think.
Oh, okay. When I was there, the person inside had to wear a mask. Also, the guy that was telling the story and whatnot.
I can't remember. Maybe she did wear a mask, and I'm just so used to seeing them nowadays that I'm not.
So yeah,
while you get to your next point.
that's fine. Well, my next topic is just asking you how your Christmas was, and if you got anything like super badass, exciting you want to talk about Christmas wise.
Super badass Christmas wise. She did wear a mask. I do
Word.
apologize. So
You're
they
good.
did have masks. Super badass Christmas wise. My wonderful wife bought me this hoodie.
So beautiful. Where's your
is
helmet?
very much in the likeness of Luke Skywalker's flight suit.
Where's the helmet?
Oh, that's upstairs.
Okay.
But yeah, so when I stepped out of Rise of the Resistance,
Mhm.
I walked by a little cart or whatever, and they had like the full flight suit.
Oh wow.
And I walked over and I looked at it and I went, "Oh, this is awesome!" And then I
Saw the price?
convinced myself to walk away.
Oh,
So
did you even look at the price?
I did not, but then I found out later that it was a $250 item. So
Wow.
but I
Woo.
mean, it looks pretty legit for
Nice.
being what it was. So I'm not going to
I
say
don't
that
see a
it
lot of
won't-
places you would. I don't see a lot of places you would wear that to though. That'd be $250 for like cosplaying.
This is $220 for cosplaying.
I mean, this isn't even cosplaying. This just sits on my mantle and displays itself as awesome.
And collects
I mean-
dust.
Yeah, okay, I get you on that, but like really the flight suit though, like this is at least an awesome toy that is put on display. That flight suit though, I don't know. I wouldn't spend that money on it.
I won't say it won't be in my closet in the future.
Oh, okay.
Let's put it that way. Who knows?
Nice.
Who knows?
Very
Maybe I'll
cool.
do it myself. But then again, this sweatshirt is doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And helping me live my silly nerd life.
There was an amazing picture, I believe, that was put up on Christmas Day of you with that hoodie and the helmet and the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Like that's
that right
awesome.
now.
I could show it right now. I think I
So-
just showed it right now. Yeah, so that's a really cool picture of you. I thought it was
Oh,
pretty
wait.
awesome.
I just did. So, but yeah, so I got that. I got the hoodie. The hoodie was probably the biggest surprise gift because I
Nice.
just really wasn't expecting it.
Nice.
But my wife also got me a 4K video drone.
Oh,
So,
we don't need a crane anymore when we're trying to do like really nice shots.
So I've charged it, but I haven't
Mhm.
actually used it yet.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to being able to play with it and taking it out and seeing what we could do with it. And
I'm gonna need you to get to be a professional with it because, like, I mean, with all these ideas I've been throwing around at you recently to try to get us to do anything creative together in the next year, like, I'm gonna need you to have some badass drone skills.
I do have to say that what it was kind of cool is one of the guys who works for volunteers at our church. He does video production.
Oh, cool.
And he has some mad flying skills for a drone. And
Cool.
yeah, and I've watched some. He did a music video for somebody, and I got to see that. And he did a lot of drone footage with that one. And so it's Sean's got some mad skills. So
very cool. What else? Anything else exciting?
I'm trying to think. And as far as like added to my nerdum of 3D movies by getting Monsters Inc. and Avengers Infinity War in 3D for Christmas.
So what are you at? 80? Is that 89 now?
No. I think it's 80. Let me look that up. And then I also my brother ended up getting me. I've started collecting Transformers again, which is probably not the best idea. Just because of the amount of money that I'm ending up spending on it. I'm up to 86 now, Shane.
86.
So 86 3D movies for Blu-rays at home so that I can enjoy my 3D at home, since I get so screwed over at movie theaters lately. And don't get me wrong, like I always felt like 3D isn't always necessary. There's plenty of times where I've watched movies and gone, that really didn't need to be in 3D. But there.
Oh, what was that really bad one that we watched? Not Jupiter Ascending. It was oh crap. Oh my God. It was Channing Tatum and.
Yeah, it was Jupiter Ascending.
Okay, then that's not the one I'm thinking of. What the crap? Cara Delevingne, however you say her name, was in it. She was the chick.
Oh, dude.
And Dane DeHaan?
Huh?
Was it Dane DeHaan? Was he the main guy?
Who was in that movie, the superhero, not superhero movie with Michael B. Jordan?
Yes, yeah, Dane DeHaan. Yeah, that's who it is. Yeah.
What was that movie called?
It had a one-word title.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on it. I can see the poster because it's got them like flying in the lightning storm.
Oh, now I got to look that up. So, anyways, yes.
What movie?
Valerian.
Thank you. Yes, that was garbage and did not need to be in 3D.
Whatever. The 3D in that movie was fantastic.
Unnecessary.
No. It was. It's always unnecessary. You don't need 3D in anything. But
except Friday the 13th, Part 3.
When you do 3D very well, then Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. That's what it was called.
Yeah, so, that was garbage.
Dane DeHaan and Chronicle. That's the word I was
Chronicle.
looking.
Yep.
So anyway, getting back on subject here. Yeah, plenty of movies that don't need 3D. But I love 3D. And I wish I could see it more often. I drug you to go see Spider-Man No Way Home in 3D.
You did.
And I thought the 3D looked really good in that movie as well.
It was fine.
So yeah, we've got that, and then oh yeah, my brother bought me Cup and Blur from the Transformers. The guys
I don't remember either of them.
1986 movie. Cup is the best friend of Hot Rod. He's kind of like a car with a flatbed on him.
Okay.
Blue, and then Blur was the Micro Machines guy, and he moved really, really fast.
Oh, okay.
He was another car. So
yeah, I don't remember either of their names, but now that you've described them,
so being a huge 1986 Transformers the movie nerd, those were two that I always wanted when I was growing up, but I just never got them. And so, yeah, my collection's growing bigger than
that's awesome, dude. That's really cool.
So,
all right, well, I want to show what I got for Christmas.
Bring it. Did you get a puppy?
No. Oh, I got the 4,000 piece Home Alone Lego set. Yeah. So
that's what was supposed to happen to you.
Yeah. So earlier this year, I think for my birthday.
Excuse me.
You're good. I got the Friends Apartment Lego set, which was 2,000 pieces, and it took me about 9 hours to put that together. So I haven't decided when I'm going to commit to putting this together. I told Caitlin I may actually wait till next year on like Shane Day or something to start it and do it as like a Christmas thing for next year. Yeah,
That makes
4,000
sense.
pieces, and it opens up so that you can see inside, and you can see every room and the traps and everything that goes on in every room. So yeah, I'm super excited about putting that together, but also know it's probably going to take me like a week because I'm sure with that one I'll do in pieces and not in one sitting like I did with the Friends one. But I was super excited about that. And then the other thing I love having in my pocket now is the Legend of Zelda Game Watch. So I can play any of the first 3 Zelda games in my pocket in color anytime I want to. So this was pretty badass too. But yeah, those are some of the highlights. I mean, I got a bunch of other cool shit also, but yeah, go ahead. What's up?
I forgot to mention that my wife got me the Friends Central Perk set.
Nice, that's awesome. When you
Lego
got me
set.
for my birthday like 2 or 3 years ago.
It was for your 40th.
My 40th, yeah.
And so, yeah, like that's another one that will stay in the box until
Really?
I can put it. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I can find a place to actually like leave it once it's put together, and nobody's gonna go messing with it because I'm that kind of nerd.
That's my other thing with this one is I'm probably gonna have to buy myself a new bookshelf, which will be fine because like right now my 2 friends ones are not next to each other. Like the apartment is so big that I don't have anywhere out here right now to put the entire apartment. So like Central Perk is out here, but the apartment is on display inside the house. So I'll probably have to get another bookshelf to be able to put those 2 and then this one on when they're all done and just have a Lego bookshelf because why not? All right, enough about Legos. Let's move on to books. You read a book this year that I told you to read for years. I don't know. The movie came out 2 or 3 years ago at Christmas, and I told you I read it before the movie came out. It's probably my favorite book I've ever read. It's right up there with Jurassic Park, but I'm afraid that I built it and hyped it up too much for you. Is that what happened when you read Ready Player One?
No.
Okay.
I think that there is. I think it's a very good book. I like it a lot. I like. I think that I don't know. There's certain things that you can't pull off in mediums when you change mediums.
For sure.
And I think that there's a lot of scenarios in the book that wouldn't have translated well into film.
You're probably right.
And you're this weird purist when it comes to books for some strange reason. And I'm okay with them taking liberties because of the simple fact that not everything translates well. And I don't think that the first key match, if you want to call it that, would have worked in a movie.
I would have loved to have seen them playing Joust on a big screen in the movie theater and him playing Joust. Like they could have done that in 3D.
They weren't playing in a movie theater. They weren't playing in a movie theater.
Me sitting in a movie theater watching him play Joust on a movie theater screen, if they had done that in 3D and had the camera going between while they're jousting, 8-bit, 3-dimensional, oh my God.
It wasn't 8-bit, buddy. It was less than that. But it's okay.
I mean, it was on the Nintendo Entertainment System, wasn't it? That's 8-bit.
No, it was before the Nintendo. This was before Nintendo. Anyway, what I was trying to say is I don't think it would have translated very well into film, and I don't think it would have been an exciting thing. The book, like many other books, would probably be better off if they made a 6-hour mini series on HBO or Netflix.
Yeah.
But that's the way that I feel about most books when you read them, because you can't convey absolutely everything in a 2.5 hour film.
Sure.
And I liked certain aspects of the book they were done better in the book than they were done in the movie. But I also I can see the movie as its own entity, and I don't mind it at all. So it was good.
I agree. The more times I watch the movie, the more times I'm fine with it. But I mean, like when I read the book was so absolutely amazing, and then that's not what I got from the movie. Like, meh.
I was talking to one of our mutual friends, Matt McNear, the other day about the fact that I don't think it would have translated well. And then he goes, and can you imagine like somebody going, okay, this isn't gonna work, in the realm of movies, and we need to make it more exciting. But we need to keep the idea of what it is, but we need to completely change it away. Like, so it's a tough pill to swallow. And I mean, screenwriters, especially when they're adapting a screenplay, like that is not that alone makes me go, oh, I don't know if I'd ever want to be an adapter of screenplays. Like,
and I will say the one thing they added that didn't bother me was the Iron Giant. I thought that was pretty cool that they added in the movie. And then, like, I don't specifically remember the Halo references in the book, but when that showed up in the movie, I thought that was pretty cool. Obviously, the DeLorean is in the book, but not in the same way that it is in the movie.
yeah, dude, that was some pretty awesome imagery in the movie. Like, to see him drive the way that he drove, and I don't know. Like, I think the movie has its place, but the book is way better. So if you enjoy the movie and are into reading at all, I definitely recommend picking up Ready Player One. And I flew through that book too. Once I finally actually sat down and started reading it, I tend to do that. Like, I'll go months without reading anything, and then once I finally pick up a book and I can start getting into it, it's like crack, man. Like, I just want to go flying through it. I tend to do that a lot with the Monster Hunter series that my brother Michael and I are into, and Snow. So
is that in development anywhere as a TV or movie or anything?
So yeah, the Rock actually approached them and said, "Hey, I want to make this. I want this to be a tent pole. I want to make this a huge series and make an entire universe out of these series of books." And he would have been awesome to play Z, the main character, because Z is a massive human being. Like, it talks about how he is, like, size-wise a giant compared to a lot of other people. So so he would have been perfect. He's a little too pretty to play Z.
Gotcha.
Z is supposed to look kind of homely. But if you're gonna make a movie or a TV show about something, it's not, and you have the chance to do Henry Cavill or me, you're gonna pick Henry Cavill every time.
Sure.
So,
it's the reason I'm actually really excited for the Jack Reacher Amazon series, because, like, not that I've ever read the books, but when I heard that Tom Cruise is literally the polar opposite of what Jack Reacher is supposed to be, I was huh, okay. And then I see the dude that's playing him in the TV series, and I'm like, you're a very large built man. Okay, I'm down for this.
Well, and our old employee, Lee Banks, he said that was the only thing that they really got wrong.
Oh, really?
Jack Reacher movie. He was like, it's a solid Jack Reacher movie, except Tom Cruise is half the height.
Oh, wow.
Like, this guy was supposed to be imposing, supposed to be super tall. Like, so I don't know. I haven't seen anything about that, so I'm excited to go look that up at some point.
Yeah, all I've seen is the preview, and the preview just looks cool. So,
I didn't even know they had a preview out. So
yeah. Watch the preview whenever you get a chance. All right. Moving past the books, let's talk about some television shows. Marvel gave us 5 television shows this year on Disney Plus. So I want to find out your ranking of all of them. We're talking about WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, and then Hawkeye just wrapped up like a couple days before Christmas. So rank them for me. Like, what's your favorite? Which one did you not care for?
I might go worst to best.
Okay.
And, I'm going to start off with Loki.
Really?
Loki. I was very bored through most of Loki.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a slow burn as far as I'm concerned of a TV show. Follow that by WandaVision.
Really? Okay. Okay.
WandaVision was fine. I just didn't have a whole lot of fun with it.
Okay.
But like Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision are kind of like neck and neck for me. I think that they both had some really good moments and some awesome sequences, and then plenty of things that made me go, why? But my favorite was definitely, or my next up would be What If, because it was kind of cool to see all the different takes on things, and I always enjoyed those issues of the comics when they did What If comics back in the day. And then Hawkeye is my favorite out of everything, just for the simple fact that it's very light. Everything else felt very like had moments of levity, but like for the most part, all that other stuff was kind of dark. And
Okay, for sure.
To me, one of the things that makes Marvel and such an enjoyable thing is that it doesn't try to. It's got the quick wit. It's got the like moments of silliness, I guess is the way to put it for me. And I don't know, Hawkeye just seemed like there was a lot on the table, a lot at stake in the show, but it was very like, and there were some heavy moments, especially for Hawkeye's character. But for the most part, you had a lot of him and Kate Bishop's characters in the way that she just kind of wasn't taking anything seriously for a while there. Shane White. And then, Hawkeye trying to be like, no, like, listen to me, Jason Mayer. Not that we see ourselves in any of the shows or movies that we watch or anything, but yeah.
I kind of find it weird that you're making me the female in this relationship, but I also can't argue.
Out of those two, she is definitely the more ridiculous one. But anyways, as I joking kid with you about it, I just felt like it was a little bit more in line with what I want out of a Marvel TV show. Just okay. And not that necessarily everything has to be the same all the time, but I like the tone that Marvel has most of the time. And so that's why I appreciated Hawkeye more than I did the others. So.
Gotcha. Okay, we're gonna have kind of a different order. I honestly, unfortunately, am putting What If as my least favorite. And not really that there's anything wrong with What If, because there was some really good and really fun episodes of What If. But I personally just felt like What If should all just be one-off episodes of things. So the fact that in the last episode they bring everything full circle and they essentially made an Avengers movie with the last episode of all of the characters we saw, that really turned me off to the whole series. Like, if you just want to give me episodes that stand on their own and show me this little glimpse of things. And like, I remember after the first, 2 or 3 episodes, people were like, oh, they need to take this idea and make like a Sharon Carter movie out of it and make, Captain Britain with Sharon Carter. And I'm just like, that's not the point of doing these. Like, they're just supposed to be like little glimpses of what could have been, like not backdoor pilots to make movies out of them. So like I said, some of them were really good. I loved the Star-Lord T'Challa one. I thought that was a lot of fun. But bringing in episode 7, how they turned it into an Avengers episode and bring all those characters together, and the Watcher breaks the Watcher's rule. Like, I was just like, this is not fun for me. I didn't enjoy that decision they made with the show. So that's why I put it at the bottom. Unfortunately, I'm putting Loki 4th, even though I did like the series. I will agree with you that it is very much a slow burn. I loved once they got to the Jonathan Majors character. I didn't know that there was going to be a second season, so the whole twist that happened at the end, they hadn't announced the second season, so the whole twist at the end, I was like, oh, this is seriously how you're going to leave this show? Like, this is just, it's done and over. And then, like, in the credits, it says Loki will return for season 2. I was like, okay, at least I'm going to get, the twist paid off with. But I definitely agree with you. It is a very slow burn show. I liked Sylvie a lot. I don't know if I liked her less once I found out who she was, but those first couple of episodes when he's actually chasing Sylvie, like, I enjoyed their interactions and whatnot. But still, 4th for me. 3rd would be WandaVision. I enjoyed seeing all of the different sitcoms in different time periods and how they messed with them. The whole, like, Grief is the bad guy in the show. Okay, whatever. Like, if that's what you're going for, like, I understand it. But I enjoyed both the inside WandaVision and, like, the stuff with Randall Park and Kat Dennings and stuff like that was going on outside. I felt like that was kind of cool. Obviously, having other White Vision is, I believe they're eventually going to set up the West Coast Avengers, potentially with Kate Bishop now and the new Black Widow and stuff like that. Maybe they'll go that route eventually. So yeah, WandaVision third for me. And again, I liked WandaVision as it built up. Like you said, with Loki, a slow burn. I loved the 8th episode of WandaVision when like all hell breaks loose. And then episode 9, I had really high expectations for and was severely disappointed with the finale of WandaVision. So that's why I'd put it third. Hawkeye gets second for me. It is probably because it's very recent, and obviously I love Christmas stuff. I wish they would have let Shane Black just like write all 6 episodes, like because that's probably the only way you could have improved on Hawkeye. It was a lot of fun. I just felt like they did a lot, but also accomplished nothing in the end. Like you've got the Tracksuit Mafia, and you've got the Watch, and you've got the Kingpin, and you've got like all these things that nothing really ends up happening with. People have fights and then they go their separate ways. And like, I love Florence Pugh, and she was one of the best parts of the Black Widow movie.
Best part.
Yeah, the best part of the Black Widow movie. But like, she was so annoying in this show, in my opinion. Like, she was one of the least favorite parts for me in this show. Like, I don't know. Like, and she's fine. Like, she's good. And like, she's fine as the Black Widow. Just the delivery and the way she talks and acts in this movie just got to me.
See, I think, do you think that it's all throughout the entire time she's talking, or is it only when she's talking to Kate Bishop? Because I feel like she has a totally different way she talks to Kate Bishop than everybody else in the entire show.
Sure. Well, like, and like
her moment with Clint is awesome.
Yeah, I'll give you that 100% for sure.
I think it's her and her like Black Widow mindset of like messing with girls and I think she was manipulating Kate Bishop the way she talks to her, and that's the reason why she keeps calling her Kate Bishop instead of calling her Kate or whatever. Sure. Yeah, I think she's totally messing with her, and that's like you said, she was my favorite part in the Black Widow movie by far. And it's just because you can see she's just pining for that like approval of everybody. Sure. Like wants to be loved and cared for and stuff. And then in this movie or in this show, it's her just like, I don't know. I just felt like it was such a like, because those moments where she just like looks at Kate and like Kate's just like, I don't know why I stopped kind of moment. And it's just, I don't know. It worked for me perfectly. I thought she was such a badass in the Black Widow movie. And then to see her like being goofy and silly and jokey, like I'm sure upon another viewing and watching the whole show start to finish again, it probably won't bother me as much like now that I can expect it. But like, I just didn't enjoy like her attempts at comedy. And again, like, I guess if Shane Black would have wrote it, he probably would have wrote it the same way. Like, that's kind of the way he writes stuff, I guess. But like, I don't know why it bothered me so much. It probably shouldn't have. But yeah, I don't know. Again, when I watch the series again, I probably won't be bothered by it as much, but you know me, like I overanalyze everything the first time I watch it. And then like, I have to let it marinate for a little bit. Yeah, shut up. So yeah, Hawkeye was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Aside from a few moments, I did really enjoy right after Clint talks about the shot that he didn't take when he didn't shoot Natasha. We immediately get Kate Bishop on the roof where she could have shot Yelena and decided not to. I liked that parallelism in storytelling. Obviously setting up that they're going to be the new Hawkeye and Black Widow in what's probably going to be the West Coast Avengers. But anyway, so Young Avengers before they do West Coast Avengers.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean,
but it's probably going to be pretty much the exact same thing. So
right. Well, and then I mean, Young Avengers is led by Peter Parker, isn't it? Like, isn't Spider-Man the head of the Young Avengers?
I can't remember.
In some version of the comic book.
Well, yeah, exactly. Right. So which version are we talking about now? Like, I don't know. I remember like there was a young Hulk and there's a young, oh God, was it a young Thor? I think there's a young
remember.
Thor, a young, yeah, like it.
Yeah,
Who knows? It could just be the female Avengers for all we know.
that's very probable too. Hey, and then they can bring in Gwen Stacy and have Spider Gwen be a part of that, and Spider Gwen can lead the female Avengers.
So your next show was
My number one is Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I just really enjoyed it from start to finish. And again, I have issues with that one also. The fight between the Patriot, the Winter Soldier, and Falcon should have been a lot better of a fight than it was. Like that was built up. Like I'm pretty sure it is the opening of episode 5. I want to say where they after the Patriot goes. I think the Patriot at the end of 4 kills the guy, and then they chase him into the house and it's the warehouse. Is that not right?
Spoiler alerts.
I mean, the show came out 9 months ago. Like, if they haven't watched it by now, why? Nobody listens to this anyway. We're just talking to talk to each other. But anyway, that fight was very built up for me. I thought it was going to be really badass, and I was really kind of let down with it.
It's like watching the Matrix Resurrections.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, so there was things I had issue with Falcon and the Winter Soldier also, but I felt like, and I understand that because of the pandemic, which was originally supposed to be a plot point of the show, that they had to completely rewrite the second half of the show. I mean, I guess I give them a little bit of credit for still delivering something that I enjoyed, but again, episode 6, no, Falcon and the Winter Soldier didn't let me down in episode 6. It was okay. So yeah, that would have been my number one. Was the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So still, we even know we're getting She-Hulk, the Marvels or Miss Marvel. The Marvels is the movie.
Marvels is the movie. You got She-Hulk. You got Moon Knight.
Miss Marvel is the TV show that's setting up the Marvels.
Okay.
So I think those are the 3 that are coming next year. I think.
Sure, let me do some research on that, Shane.
Yeah, no, and then old girl Echo. Yeah, Echo is getting her own show, the spinoff, which I think is where they're going to. Why is that stupid? That's how they're bringing the Kingpin in, I'm sure.
The Kingpin's already in.
Well, no, but I think that's how we're going to get like the Kingpin as the main big bad. Because again, that's kind of one of my issues with Hawkeye is like you bring in the Kingpin and you introduce him, and then he has one fight, and then they want to make you think he's dead. Meh. I don't know. I think he's going to be the big bad guy in the Echo series. I think she's going to go after him for revenge. Somebody I had seen or heard somewhere thinks that she just put the gun up to his ear and pulled the trigger that way to try to deafen him. Which, okay, whatever. That could be what she did off screen, but who knows?
Apparently somebody said that she blinded him in the comic books by shooting him in the face.
Oh, okay. Well, that could be interesting.
So he went blind for a while. Obviously, he's some kind of superhuman.
He took a lot of bullets.
Well, he also got shot in the Kate Bishop shot him with an arrow, and he just kind of broke it off inside of himself. So, who knows? We'll see.
So, aside from the Marvel shows, there was a lot of television to watch this year. I Google searched earlier TV shows of 2021. There's thousands of things that I haven't seen and haven't made the time for. The ones that are notable to me that I want to bring up, obviously I'm wearing my Roy Kent jersey because we got season 2 of Ted Lasso. Not as good as the first season. If the first season's a 10, then this is like a 9.5. Since it aired, I've watched it twice more, like in marathon sessions. The Beard at Dark episode doesn't bother me anymore. When it first came out, I wasn't a fan of it, but the episode where Beard goes to the club, it's a very bizarre and ridiculous episode. And that week when my wife and I sat down and watched it, she literally looked at me and was like, "This is the worst episode of this show I've ever seen." I wasn't a fan the first time, but watching it more times, it's grown on me. I like it. What were you going to say about it?
Oh, no. Like, yeah, it's a very it definitely is a hard shift compared to what you're used to out of Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
And it was very strange, but I kind of enjoyed it. Who knows?
Yeah, I think it's good that it was different enough to show that, like, sometimes people just need to go get out of their comfort zone and do something different and be weird. And, that's what he did that night because he was dealing with, emotions. So I like it. We got a Disney animated series, The Bad Batch, back in May. I was a fan of it. I enjoyed it. I liked the story that they told. I can't wait to see more. You a fan?
Yeah. Trying to figure out how I want to say what I want to say here.
All right.
I think it's very interesting that they're going to go that Alpha, is it Omega?
Omega. Yep.
That Omega is who she is.
Yep.
And so I don't know. We'll see how it turns out.
I enjoyed it as I watched it. I haven't watched it again, but as it was airing, I enjoyed the episodes and thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's Star Wars, so I enjoy it. A couple other series that I watched this year that I noted down that I enjoyed were Clickbait on Netflix, Mayor of Easttown on HBO Max, the new Chucky series that they did on the Sci-Fi Channel. I kind of enjoyed quite a bit. Amazon Prime did a reboot of I Know What You Did Last Summer as a 10-episode series that it's 100% different from the movie from 97, but I still enjoyed what they decided to do with it. It was fine. Like, it's not anything that I love or think that anybody else really needs to watch, but as a slasher whodunit, like, why is it being done to these kids? And the overall plot is kind of the same. They hit somebody in the middle of the road and then decide to dispose of their body in the water. But other than that, it's completely different who it is and why and all that kind of stuff. So it's okay.
Evan Williamson involved in the TV show at all?
I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing his name in the credits.
Okay.
So I'm not 100% sure. I know Lois Duncan's name was in the credits because she wrote the original book that both of them are based on, but I meant to look it up. I don't believe that even the book shares the plot of either the movie or the TV show, to be honest. So,
okay.
Yeah. And then finally, we've talked about it at some point over the summer. I watched the show Cruel Summer on Hulu, which has Kevin Smith's daughter in it. I actually ended up watching it twice. I watched it once by myself, and then I showed it to my wife and daughter, and they both really liked it. So it was kind of fun. But again, it's set in the 90s. It time jumps between 94, 95, and 90, or 95, 96, 97. No, 93, 94, 95. Sorry. It jumps back and forth between those three time periods. So it's got an amazing soundtrack, and it's a lot of fun for me. So those are kind of the things that when I looked through the list of everything that came out this year, I mean, there's tons of stuff that I want to watch that I just haven't made time for yet. Obviously, in like 2 days, we're getting more. The day that this hits YouTube, Cobra Kai season 4 hits. So I'll probably be marathon.
I thought it hit today.
I believe it's Friday. I'm pretty sure it's on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'll be marathoning all 10 episodes of that show as soon as I can. Give me some Terry Silver in my life. See how it goes. But yeah, so technically, I guess Cobra Kai season 3 was on New Year's Day this year. So still happy to get some more Cobra Kai very soon. Any shows or anything that I haven't talked about that you liked?
No, not for the most part. You've touched on everything. I got a Ted Lasso shirt for Christmas. I forgot to mention that. So yeah.
Is it like a jersey shirt or like?
No, it's got his face and it says
cool
on it. So
nice. That's awesome.
Yeah,
very cool.
Excited to have that as a part of my repertoire of
nice
t-shirts to wear. Yeah, just looking forward to watching some Cobra Kai.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it, man.
All right, man. Well, let's get on to movies then. We're done with TV. Let's get on to movies. And the first thing we can do with movies is we can talk about the couple of things we've seen recently. I know you absolutely loved No Way Home. Spider-Man. I mean, it's in your top 5 of the year.
I gave it a 4.
But it's in the top 5 of the year.
Yeah, it's in the top 5 of the year, but it's still only a 4, man.
Okay,
Like,
all right.
I don't know. Like, it was a very solid movie for me. Some cool moments in it, especially. But overall, man, like, I'm still surprised at how, like, it. When I think about the movie, it feels longer than it was.
Sure,
because they did a whole lot in that movie.
They did.
So, solid film overall, and like, but yeah, we saw it in 3D. I like the 3D aspect of it. I've got the other 2 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies in 3D, so I hope they release this one in 3D for me. So,
no word. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. However, my big complaint with the movie is all of the leaks that ended up coming out. I was like, oh, it's okay. Like, it's okay that these are getting leaked because obviously Marvel's playing a couple of more cards really close to their chest. And like, there's going to be some more bigger and crazier cameos or something that's going to happen in this movie that nobody knows about. And then I just didn't get that. Like, so it was really kind of disappointing.
Well, and see, I had always known that at some point in time, I found out that one of them was going to be in it.
Sure.
But I didn't know the next one was going to be in it. And so it was pretty awesome when he showed up. So,
sure.
So yeah, when he showed up first too, like I was just like, oh wow, we really are going to get him.
Yeah.
So it worked out for me. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's just what's interesting to me. It makes no sense whatsoever from a logical standpoint in my brain, even though we are talking about a multiverse and comic books. Is you have all these different people playing the exact same character. Been my problem with almost like with comic books forever. So here you have multiple people playing the same character. Like, let's look at the Loki series. There's like 80 different Lokis. Which makes no sense because you can't be Loki. I was explaining to my daughter a couple of days ago that you have to be made at the time and place that you were made for you to be you. I might have made a different child and named him the same name because that name is just something that was in my head. But if that child was born a year before or a year after when my current actual child is born, totally different kid. It's not like the name makes it who it is. So it's very weird. And all this does is just open up the possibility for them to recast anybody at any point in time and just say somebody came over from a different dimension. And this also puts it back on the table that Scarlett Johansson can come back as Black Widow, that RDJ can come back as Tony Stark, or you can get somebody else to be Tony Stark or somebody else to be Steve Rogers. And we just have to accept it because that's just how it's going to be. So it's a cop out of a little bit.
I can see that.
And so I don't love it, but I also understand it, especially from a movie making standpoint, because, Chris Hemsworth does not look like he did when he first started playing Thor. And he's supposed to be thousands upon thousands of years old, and you can't keep that going. So
we'll see what they end up doing with it. But I mean, you're right. They definitely opened up that can to do whatever they want with casting and stuff like that. So while we both really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun with that, let's talk about the piece of garbage that we just saw this last week.
Matrix Resurrections. Do
you know what I didn't need? I didn't need the Matrix Reloaded. Do you know what else I didn't need? I didn't need the Matrix Revolutions.
Revolutions, that's right.
Do you know what I also didn't need? I did not need the Matrix Resurrections. Literally, the first film is a perfect example of storytelling, cinematography, leaps forward in digital movie making.
And technology, yeah, like
Yeah,
it was a step in the right direction everywhere.
flawless. And I just wish they could have left it the fuck alone. Like,
Yeah.
didn't need it. Didn't need any of the 3 sequels that we got. Waiting 20 years and then trying to make a super meta movie about trying to spend the first half of the movie convincing us that the Matrix didn't really happen, that it was all just a video game that this guy created, and then trying to oh man, I didn't enjoy this movie at all. It had cool moments, it had cool stuff that they did, but at the same time, oh, it's CGI porn now. Like, it's not like it was in 99 when they were still shooting on film and doing all these like in-camera tricks that they were able to do to make that movie look as good as it did. It's all just CGI now. And it was very disappointing. The dude, Mateen Abdul II, that I don't know how to pronounce his name. That dude was great as young Morpheus.
Oh,
yeah, I have no idea how to say his name. But he was really cool as young Morpheus. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't enjoy the movie at all. I thought it might have made its way onto my top 5 list for 2021, and it did not. It's in my bottom of the year. I was very disappointed.
it was I wish I could say it was disappointing, but I was kind of expecting it to suck anyway. So with 2 and 3 being as bad as they were,
but I thought there's no way they could get worse.
I don't think it's worse. I actually think it's better. I think it's better than 2 and 3. But like you said, when you are making a sequel to something, you need to step up your game.
Yeah.
And it felt like they took a step back instead of taking a step forward or a leap forward even. It felt there was no need for it whatsoever.
And then you have a completely convoluted plot. Like, that's the other thing. Like, the plot of the original Matrix is not hard to follow. It's a straightforward, you're not a prisoner of the machines anymore, and now the machines are coming after you, and you have to fight back against the machines. Like, essentially, bare plot, that's what it is. This one, we're taking bad guys and making them good guys, but making them not good guys, but then making them team up with the good guys, but only because there's another bad guy that's badder than the bad guy, but the bad guy still wants to be a bad guy, but he's teaming up against a greater. Like, it's why did this plot have to be the way that it was? Like, why couldn't you just give me another decent, humans against machines? I mean, despite the fact that we killed off, half the cast in the last movie, like, how are we going to rewrite all of this?
Expecting to make a 4th one.
Yeah. And they never should have. They never should have made a second or third one. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely terrible.
I also watched Finch.
Oh, okay. Tom Hanks movie.
It's essentially a dystopian world where like nuclear winter kind of climate change has gotten so bad that essentially nuclear winter is kind of set in. There's no ozone, so you bake immediately.
Oh wow.
It's kind of interesting, and it's very reminiscent to me of like if Castaway could build a robot.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. Was it Castaway in a van?
It's Castaway in a van, but he built a robot so he wouldn't be alone.
Yep, there you go. Okay.
And he's trying to, and there's a purpose for it.
Okay.
But to me, it's fine.
Okay.
2.5 out of 5. If you haven't seen it, you're interested at all, go ahead and pop it on your Apple TV. It's no big deal. It's not very memorable, and but it's also not a complete waste of your time. So I think I still hold true that Tom Hanks is easily one of the top 5 actors of our time. I think he's just awesome. Anytime he's on screen, it's not his fault that this movie doesn't get better. And I loved him in Greyhound last year. So
never watched that.
Yeah, another one on Apple TV, like high stakes game, cat and mouse kind of stuff, and about war and World War II. Very well done. I really enjoy that. So,
all right. Well, let's talk about the 5 movies that you enjoyed this year. I had thought I had
And
thought,
saw Sing 2.
oh,
last
you went
night.
to the theater to see it?
I took my children
Okay.
and my wife, and we went and saw Sing 2, which was it was better than the first one.
I never saw the first one.
First one's just fine, but like
I'll tell you what though, like this preview for this one looks crazy. Like I don't know how they're going to make a plot out of all of the little bits I've seen in the trailer because it looks like they're doing like 10 different shows.
Oh, dude, it's worth it. It's worth it. Not only that, but it has so many good songs from like the 80s in there.
Oh, nice. All right.
So yeah, like the last one was very like a lot of contemporary songs, and whereas this one definitely is like half contemporary, half 80s, and it worked perfectly for me. So
nice.
Yeah, a lot of fun, very silly, totally wreck.
Bless you. That you're just yawning and not sneezing.
You have kids. I promise I don't always fall asleep when I'm on Shane's.
Cool. So let's talk about the movies. So I was considering putting up a post sometime around last week to have something for us to talk about on tonight's episode. I decided against it when you beat me to the punch and you put up your top 5 films of the year and asked people to comment on theirs. We got 3 of our friends to give us their top 5 lists, so we'll get to them in a minute. But let's talk about your 5 favorite films of this year, and if they changed since you put that post up.
They have not changed.
So Sing didn't make it into the top 5?
Sing 2 did not make it into the top 5.
All right, cool.
Although I will say that it was easily in the top half of 2021 movies that I have seen.
And I can't lie, like when you put that post up, I had to go and I was like, I don't remember everything that I watched in 2021. So I went and I pulled up the list of everything that was released this year. There was a lot of bad stuff this year. Not even just like, there was a lot of bad stuff released like at home in the first half of the year when, COVID was still shutting everything down. But even once theaters reopened, man, a lot of the stuff that came out was bad.
I keep a list because I'm that kind of a nerd. Mm-hmm. I try to keep a list of everything I see when I see it in theaters. Where I just list what the title of the movie. And so I think out of everything I've seen, and I only include things that I've seen in theaters or were only exclusively at home.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So like Finch is on my list because you could only watch it at home.
Sure.
So out of the 2021 movies so far, I've seen 40.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
So, yeah. So I've got 40 movies. And
I'm not going to lie. Like I watched more than 40 movies in the last month leading up to Christmas because I watched 2 to 3 Hallmark movies every day.
What's wrong with you? I know.
Yeah. I had a great list.
I don't know how you do that.
Because they're fun, man. They're Christmas joy. Like it's just people like loving the holidays. And eventually they fall in love. And I'm sorry that I'm a sucker for romantic movies that involve Christmas. Like, are they good? No, but they make me happy because, like,
why is it that you can never can't have a happy story about a married couple? Like, it's almost always a single man and or a single parent falling in love with the opposite sex but they don't realize they're in love until like the last 5 minutes of the stupid ass movie, and then like. They never kiss at any other point besides at the very, very end. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't need like raunchy, I'm going to screw you on camera kind of stuff all the time. Sure. But it's still one of those things where it's like, not everybody's this wholesome. Lots of people make mistakes constantly. Sure. When it comes to these kind of things. And it always cracks me up that
there's always a mistake that happens that causes like dramatic tension because somebody sees something wrong that they shouldn't have seen.
I think this is the 3 Company episode where they have a disagreement. It's totally true. Like every time there's something where it's the buddy comedy. Like sure. 3/4 of the way in, all of a sudden somebody misunderstands something and then they can't stand each other and don't want to be around one another. And then it gets fixed in the last 5 minutes. They kiss and it's over.
I'll tell you what, though, this year with how many of them I watched, I was happy that there was 2 that stood out. One of them was where this chick is it's a town called Dickens. So they every year put on a Christmas Carol play. Yeah, a town called Dickens. they put on a Christmas Carol play every year. She's directing it for the first time. And one of the guys that she went to high school with is now an action movie star. And he's trying to get this really dramatic role that they won't even let him audition for. So she convinces him to come back and be their Ebenezer Scrooge, because the guy that's supposed to play Ebenezer Scrooge gets laryngitis, so he can't play it. So she convinces him to come back, and it literally has none of that crap in it. They literally just are friends. They hang out. They do the play together, and they're just friends. Now, there might be a little bit of hint of romance in like the last 10% of the movie, but like nobody screws anybody over. Nobody gets angry with each other. They're literally just two people that are constantly trying to help each other make this play better. And I really enjoyed that.
So they actually made a Hallmark movie that wasn't the exact same as every other Hallmark.
Exactly. And then they also did one. This is going to totally surprise you that I enjoyed this one. 5 friends who did A Christmas Carol in high school together. Their drama teacher dies, so they all come back together at Christmas time to help.
Christmas Carol again?
The town is doing A Christmas Carol, but they come back to kind of help with it and just kind of like rekindle their friendship, because they've all kind of gone their separate ways. So his death brings them back together, and they get to hash out a lot of the drama that happened between them like 20 years ago. So it's not like, oh, shit's happening now that we're back together. It's, I'm upset with you because this happened between us 20 years ago and I'm still not over it. And they work their way through it as adults. And so like both of those this year were very different from, I mean, the other 38 of them that I watched were definitely all the exact same plot, like you talked about. Girl has a shitty boyfriend, goes and gets in a situation where she's with a single dude, and the single dude shows her how she should be treated. So she finally eventually breaks up with the dude. And then in the last 5 minutes, they get together, which is the plot to like 90% of the ones that I watched this year. You're not wrong. But there were a couple that stood out that were fun. So anyway, you watched 40 movies this year. Which 5 of them were your favorites?
So Spider-Man No Way Home is in my top 5.
Yep.
Also in my top 5 is Free Guy. Very silly, not turn your brain off. Like, this is stupid popcorn film.
Yep.
Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds. No, there's no question. It's just silly, stupid, and it's exactly what I wanted out of the movie, essentially. Like, it's supposed to be about a video game.
Yep.
It makes no sense. It's fine.
While that didn't make my top 5, it is a movie that I do highly recommend to people. I bought it. I love it. Like, I liked it a lot, but just it didn't end up making my top 5. But it was definitely something I really enjoyed this year.
Next up is Jungle Cruise. I just don't want Disney to make a sequel to it, because every time they make
they will.
Really good ride movie, they make a sequel to it and they screw up everything.
Or they make 4 sequels and they all suck.
I still miss, I don't know if I still have it or not. At one point in time, I actually had the Pirates teaser poster, which was just like the skeleton
crossbones
driving the ship. Like it had the captain's wheel, and it was a skeleton with a gold tooth. It was in like a crazy rainstorm or whatever. I don't know if I still have that poster or not, but I love that poster. It was
nice.
Awesome. Love that Joker. So Jungle Cruise was really, really good. The Rock and his very silly dad humor works really well in this movie. Emily Blunt is just always nice to look at and pleasant to see her do anything. Top notch. And then besides that, another Andrew Garfield movie.
Yeah.
I just rewatched it the other night with my wife, who had not seen it, but she is a big, huge musical fan and has been around theater nerds for a long time, especially while she was in college. And she was in college when Rent became the huge sensation that it was. So the other day we watched Tick, Tick, Boom. You and I have talked about this in the past. I got to see it on the big screen. You and I got to see it on the big screen, which was a great treat for me. And watching it again, still love it. Still think it's fantastic. The music's so much fun to listen to. And so, yeah, if you are into musicals at all, watch it on Netflix, find the time. It's worth it. And then my last movie of my top 5, and by far for me, the best movie of the year, was Ghostbusters Afterlife. Even after weeks and weeks, it's been over a month since I saw it. Thinking back on it, there are some little aspects that I think could have been better, but for the most part, just top-notch writing, lots of fun, entertained. Somebody was trying to come. Our friend McNear was like, I heard that it's just a rehash. I'm not gonna lie to you, kind of is a rehash of the first one, but they give you a reason why, and they don't just do it because they do it. They actually explain why they're doing it, and it works for me. So if you can explain why you're doing something when it's not, like, it's perfectly done, top to bottom. You could change like 2 or 3 things to make it even a better film, but I'm being very nitpicky, and they're very small, minute details. So that's my top 5: Spider-Man, Free Guy, Jungle Cruise, Tick, Tick, Boom, and then Ghostbusters.
So I'm going to address Tick, Tick, Boom because it should have been on my top 5 list. Unfortunately, as we've talked about a couple of episodes ago, I was unfortunately very let down by the movie. I do want to watch it again because I feel like, as we talked a couple of minutes ago, when I soak things in and then marinate with it and then give it another watch, I usually like things a lot more. I need to do that with Tick, Tick, Boom just because I didn't get what I wanted. Nothing wrong with the movie. I have nothing that I disliked about the movie other than the fact that it wasn't what I wanted. Like, I literally wish they would have just called it like the Jonathan Larson story. And then I would have been insane. Like, it would probably be in my top 5. I probably would have gotten exactly what I wanted out of the movie. But the fact that I wanted to see the actual production of Tick, Tick, Boom, and that's not what I got, it's just a bummer for me. But I will probably really love the movie the second time I watch it, and I need to do that soon. You and I share number ones. I agree that Ghostbusters Afterlife. So my list is, my top 5 of a year are usually more about like how I actually like felt when I watched them. Some of mine aren't like the greatest cinematography or the greatest, writing or anything like that, but I just enjoyed them when I watched them, and I enjoyed what I got from them. And number 1 is Ghostbusters Afterlife, because I had so much fun during that movie. Probably a little longer than it needed to be. It probably could have been trimmed down a little bit here and there. I don't know exactly where, but it probably could have been a little bit shorter, moved a little bit faster. But I felt so good with everything they did in that movie. Like you said, everything has a reason. And yeah, it's kind of a retelling of the first movie, but the plot of this one explains why it feels that way. And I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the way they did it. So I definitely agree. Ghostbusters Afterlife, number 1 movie of the year. My second favorite movie of this year was a Netflix series. It's 3 movies that were called Fear Street. Part 1 was set in 1999, and it was so they're all 3 kind of like different horror genres. The first one, Part 1, is like a slasher flick, very much lots of nods to Scream in that movie. Part 2 is set in like 1972 or 71 or something. It's set at a Camp Crystal Lake. Like it's set at a summer camp and where there's a lake. So it's very much like the Friday the 13th movies. And then the last one, Part 3, goes back to like 1666, and it's kind of like a witch movie. It was my least favorite one of it, except for the fact that it only is in 1666 for like the first half of the movie, and then it jumps back to 1994 to finish with the characters you started the whole thing with. It brings everything full circle. Part 1, just all of the homages to Scream and all the slasher movies and whatnot, Halloween, and not really Nightmare on Elm Street, but kind of like the way they do it in the first one. I just had so much fun with it. Really good time. I really enjoyed the first one. Number 3 for me was the musical Come From Away that was done on Apple TV. I had never seen the musical before. I knew nothing about I knew about the musical. I knew what the plot was about the planes on 9/11 and, the people landing in Canada and having to learn to work together for a while. So seeing the musical, absolutely loved it. I loved watching the actors who portrayed multiple characters. It was a lot of fun. Really, really enjoyed Come From Away. My number 4 was also on your list. It was Jungle Cruise. I'm a huge fan of the 1999 film The Mummy, and I kind of felt like this was very similar to, you take the plot of The Mummy, you take the plot of the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, kind of mash them together and put it on water. Very, very fun. I like both of those movies, so putting them together, I really enjoyed Jungle Cruise. Like you said, I'm not the biggest Rock fan, but that was a role that I really enjoyed him in. And Emily Blunt, like you said, she's very much fun to watch. My number 5 movie is a movie that's on this list because I thought about it a lot after I watched it, and that was Reminiscence, the Hugh Jackman film. I was disappointed with it because the plot wasn't exactly what I thought the plot was going to be. But after I watched it, I thought about the movie so much and what the plot actually was that I had to admit, like, I kind of enjoyed the ride that Reminiscence took me on. And again, I don't think it's like the most amazing movie ever, but it just, it deals with, nonlinear storytelling and like technology that lets you look back in time. And like, it just had a lot of the things that I dig in sci-fi movies that made it enjoyable for me. So again, it's not one that I'm like, everybody has to watch it. Like, I don't think everybody will enjoy it, but it definitely was one that I enjoyed watching.
I bought that for my mom for Christmas.
Oh, nice. So how did you like the movie? I know we didn't watch that one together, so I don't remember us talking about it much.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's in my top half of the year. I don't know how much more than the half I would give it, but Rebecca Ferguson's awesome. Hugh Jackman's awesome. I really enjoy the aspects of it and the way that everything plays out.
Right.
It's a solid movie. Like, can't say much more than that.
Right on. So we'll look at Chris Schneider's top 5 first. He also had Tick, Tick, Boom in there. He had Cyrano, which is Peter Dinklage. Cyrano de Bergerac. Peter Dinklage plays Cyrano. You don't know anything about it? Gotcha. He had Shang-Chi in there, which is okay.
It was in my top 5 for a little while, so I won't complain because, considering everything that came out this year.
Yeah. Again, another one I need to watch again because while it looked cool, I didn't care for the plot of that one. Power of the Dragon.
First 2/3 is better than the last third for sure.
Yeah. Power of the Dog, which I believe is the Benedict Cumberbatch movie. Which I have not seen. I've read some stuff about it. It makes me weary if I'm going to actually enjoy it. So I don't know. And then his last one was a biopic called King Richard, which I will never watch because I don't care about King Richard. So I'll never watch it. I'll never know how good it is. It sucks because apparently Will Smith, why are you looking at me like that? You know I don't like biopics. And I have no interest in it.
I like the way you said that, though. You were like, because I don't care about King Richard. Like, it's not King Richard.
I understand that. The King Richard that it does talk about, I still don't care about him.
Okay. That's fine.
I don't.
Is that his name?
No, his name is Richard. Whatever, Richard Williams is his name.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was maybe I'm misunderstanding something.
No, I think they're just calling him King Richard because he has royalty children. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I'm sure if I watched the movie, I'd find out why they call him King Richard.
It'll make more sense, right?
Yeah.
But, I would like to watch it just because Will Smith is Will Smith, and I enjoy almost everything he's ever made. In one aspect or another, I don't think he does a bad job acting in any movie, even if the movie sucks. Although I will say, Wild Wild West is definitely very low on my list. But overall, I meant to see it. I would have watched it. It's just not on HBO Max anymore. So just find the time.
Our buddy Jason Richardson, who was on this podcast numerous times this year, he also had King Richard on his list. He also had Power of the Dog on his list. He added No Time to Die, which, yeah, I'm not a fan of that movie. I didn't really care for it
In the
much at
top
all.
half, again, top half of 2021, but it's a low bar.
Yeah, well, but it just didn't give me a James Bond that I cared about. Like, I like James Bond with gadgets and stuff, and like it had another terrible villain. It had another bad plot. Like, I just didn't. Yeah, that movie. I was not a fan of No Time to Die. He's got Halloween Kills on here, which I'm fine with. Like, I liked the movie.
Top 5 for the year?
No. But I'm just saying, like, I enjoyed the movie. I didn't hate it. And he's also got Candyman on here, so 2 horror movies. And Candyman was fine.
I didn't see Candyman, so I will not attest to that whatsoever. But
Sure.
yeah, Halloween Kills sucked. That movie.
I don't think it sucked.
Dude, there's so many bad parts of that movie. And it makes no sense.
We saw it once in the theater, and then I watched it 3 more times before it left HBO Max, and like, I was fine with it. I enjoyed it. And then
you watched that piece of shit 3 times.
Well, 4 total, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I don't know how you watched the POS 4 times.
Because like I don't, man. You got hate for horror movies that just don't do it for you one time. Like, you need to watch Scream 4 again before we get to the 5th one, because you're gonna realize it's not that bad.
See. Oh no! It's
not
that bad.
No, it is very well written. It is a very smart movie. No, I'm not.
You're wrong.
It is very well written and
it's
smart.
okay to be wrong every now and then.
The only Scream movie that's bad is Scream 3, and that's because Aaron Kruger wrote it instead of Kevin Williamson. And it wouldn't be a Shane Talks episode without a cameo from a mayor child.
That's for sure.
Our buddy Pat Dyer was the last person that gave us his 5. He included Spider-Man No Way Home, No Time to Die also. I have not seen Licorice Pizza. I don't really care about Barbara Streisand, so I'll probably never watch it. And Paul Thomas Anderson.
Based on?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely not seeing it now. And I don't care for Wes Anderson movies or Paul Anderson.
Paul Thomas Anderson. Yeah.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah, he made one good movie, Rushmore, and then they've kind of gone downhill since then. And then Shang-Chi is also on his list. And then French Dispatch, which I believe is the Wes Anderson one from this year, which sorry, Wes Anderson did one good movie, and that was Rushmore. Paul Thomas Anderson did good movies up until Magnolia, and then like Hard 8 was good, Boogie Nights was good, Magnolia was good, and then everything else since then has been garbage. So sorry, I got my Andersons confused for a second because I knew we were getting ready to talk about Wes Anderson. So yeah. Wes Anderson, I've only ever liked Rushmore that he has done. Everything since then. Like, I'm one of the people that hates the Royal Tenenbaums. I'm one of the people that hates Steve Zissou or The Life Aquatic or whatever the fuck that movie's called. Not a fan of that at all. Yeah. So, yeah, pretty eclectic taste between the 3 of them. Well, Schneider and Richardson had a couple of overlaps. So that was everything we wanted to talk about with 2021 this year. You got any end of the year questions for me, good sir?
Biggest disappointment as far as a movie goes this year? Was it The Matrix?
Tick Boom. Yeah, Tick Tick Boom and The Matrix are like both right there. And again, Tick Tick Boom, not a bad movie. I'm not saying it's a bad movie in any way. It's not what I wanted. That's why I'm disappointed with it. Dude, you're not understanding what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's a bad movie. I was just disappointed with my experience watching it.
Oh, I totally get it.
As far as a disappointment for the actual movie, it has to be The Matrix. Like, they brought Keanu back. They brought Carrie Ann back. Like, it should have been a lot better than it turned out to be, and it was just not enjoyable at all. Not fun.
You mean you don't want to watch 30 minutes of this?
Oh, my God. Yeah. To everything. So, all right, I got a question for you. Sports related. I know that you were a huge Tom Brady fan. So are you willing to watch the first 8 episodes of Man in the Arena?
I don't have the opportunity to do so.
Oh, you don't have ESPN Plus or whatever it's on?
Nope.
I got you. It's really cheap to just bundle those all together.
I will. I paid for Disney Plus a long time ago. I got 3 years for the cost of 2.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I no longer have Hulu, so that's no big deal there.
I see.
So when my discounted rate at Disney Plus drops off,
Gotcha.
I'll probably go ahead and just roll into that bundle instead.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I can tell you that I still appreciate what Tom Brady did for the Patriots. And if I had access to it, I probably would watch it because I'm stupid.
Like, why are you stupid? What's wrong with going back and reliving all of those good years that you had with him? Because I'm sure it's got behind the scenes stuff. I saw the promotion for the episode that was about his mom and how she was battling cancer one of the years he was in the middle of the Super Bowl. And like, it looked like he still played for the Patriots at that time. That could probably be a good story.
Shane, I remember somebody telling me that he didn't want to go into a particular bar anymore because of the location of that bar. Due to the fact that everything that was tied to that bar's location kind of brought up some bad crap in your brain or reminded you of how great times were at one point in time.
Okay.
So that's my problem. I don't want to root for Tom Brady. I don't want him to succeed.
Sure.
Because he's no longer a Patriot, but I do at the same time. It's a stupid duality conflict. And yes, I'm being petty. And yes, I understand that. But it was kind of cool to see him win last year. But it breaks my heart as a Patriots fan that he's doing it in somebody else's uniform.
Sure.
And yes, you kind of know what I'm talking about.
Sure. Yeah, I had to watch Peyton Manning do it.
I'm talking about.
But do you know what? When I had the chance to watch Peyton's Places, I still watched all of Peyton's Places.
My point being is it made logical sense why the Colts got rid of Peyton Manning.
Okay.
Yeah. This was Tom Brady walking away from the Patriots.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I got you. I totally agree with that statement.
Which is why it bugs the hell out of me that I even bother watching or listening to shit about him, but I still do. So
understandable. So then in the same vein as my question there, being that it isn't something you directly care about, but you still care about football, have you watched any of Hard Knocks, being that it's the Colts in season for the first time ever?
No,
no?
I have not.
Gotcha.
I've heard good things, and if I would remember that it was on, I would watch it. Gotcha. I just don't remember that it's on. And is it every week?
Yeah, it's week, but I mean, like, it's on HBO Max, so they just pile up the episodes on there.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
it's every Wednesday.
Sit down and watch 16 hours of Colts footage.
Yeah, I got you.
If my wife was watching it every week and I was just in the room or something, I'd probably watch it with her. I'm not going to go hunting to watch an entire season's worth.
Well, that was the thing. I didn't know if your wife was interested in it, since it is about the Colts, and they do a really good job of so the episodes are 45 minutes long. The first 30 minutes is all either a story about a player or a coach, and then it shows a lot of practices and how they get ready and game plan against who their opponent is. And it's the first episode sucks because they didn't start doing this until week 9 or something in the season. So the first episode is literally just recapping the first 9 weeks of the season, which is kind of annoying. So that I didn't really care for. But once the episodes start, and I mean, they're tonight's episode will be about us beating the Cardinals on Sunday. That's how quick they turn around and edit. They'll show us the build up to us game planning against the Cardinals. And then the last 15 minutes of it is actually the highlights from the game against the Cardinals, or and not to bring up a sore subject with you, but the episode against the Patriots, when we blocked that punt, when that happens, they literally jump back and show you 2 days earlier when the special teams are doing their stuff. And Bubba, whoever that's on our special teams coach now, that used to coach for you guys, he's literally this is the gap you guys need to focus on. They're not good at this gap. And that's literally how we blocked that punt. So it was really cool to see the game planning and how they were actually able to execute what he thought was going to happen in a punt against you guys. So, and again, I'm more invested in it because it's the Colts.
Yeah,
I'd probably still watch it if I had time, if it was any other team, especially now knowing how in depth they go with like showing us game planning and stuff like that. And like, I've never played football. And most of the sports I play are not as in depth as professional football. It's literally like, here's the guys you're playing against. Go out there and do your sport. But the level that they go to for planning stuff in football is just insane. Just like I never knew this. I mean, we had friends that played football, but I never realized like at the professional level the amount of game footage that they watch. And like, they show Colts players at home just on their iPads, like Darius Leonard, they show him sitting on his couch just watching footage of the team that he's going to play this next week. And it's just like, it's really cool to see their, and then, obviously they throw in the like sob stories and personal stories and stuff like that. And it's still fun. So yeah, I just didn't know, since I do know that you love football also, I thought that seeing, behind the curtain might be something that you'd be interested in also.
Yeah, like I don't find myself with too much time to watch a whole lot right now, so it wouldn't be something. I mean, I'd be all for it if the opportunity was in front of me, but I'm not going to go hunting for it. So,
well, very cool, man. Well, thank you for another awesome. I mean, when we started this 18 months ago, who knew that we were still going to be doing it 57 episodes later? And we've gone through our changes and different versions of how we've done the show and whatnot, but I have absolutely loved having you as a co-host for all of the last 18 months, and I look forward to see what we do in 2022. Let's see, we did 25 episodes in 2020, which puts us at 25 plus 7 is 32 episodes this year. We took our couple of breaks, so 32 episodes is decent for this year. So thank you for being along for that ride. And thank you for listening, anybody who's still here. We definitely went over our hour limit with how small this script was. I didn't realize we were going to talk so much, but we did, because that's what we do. So first thing in 2022, we're going to watch together. I'm super excited to watch Scream with you, man. Scream 5, bro. Come on, get hyped, dude. Get hyped. Get excited for something. Like, let the joy of a slasher film just like take over you. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. We got 2 weeks to go, but I can't wait. We're going to watch Scream 5 together, dude. It's been like 10 years since Scream 4, right? Like,
I don't know why you keep saying Scream 5. It's just called Scream for some stupid ass reason.
Because it worked with Halloween when they rebooted Halloween. I don't know.
But this isn't a reboot. This is a sequel.
Yeah. But kids these days probably won't even have seen the first movie when they go watch it.
Although the new Halloween was just called Halloween, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you have Halloween followed by Halloween.
Yeah. Halloween. According to them, it's Halloween, and then Halloween kills, and then Halloween dies. But we know it's not going to die.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's why they did it with Scream. I'm sure of it.
God, that movie's so bad.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No.
I'm still thinking of Halloween Kills. Sorry.
No, it's not that bad. It's fun.
No, it's really bad.
It's Michael Myers going crazy, killing a lot of people.
No, but I don't even mind the kills. Just the plot sucks. It's horrible.
I mean, I will admit that the scene at the hospital could have been taken out of the movie, and I would have been fine with it. But
I don't even care about that.
Oh, I do. That's the only part of the movie I don't like is the hospital part.
All he wants to do is stare out his window, Shane. That's all he wants to do. People are just getting in his way. All he wants to do is stand and stare out his window. That's all he wants. So literally what you're telling me is they could build a plastic shell around the Michael Myers house and never have to worry about Michael Myers ever coming out to do anything, because all he would do was stand in that window and look out the window.
You don't think in the third movie they're going to reveal to us what he saw when he stared out that window that turned him into the killer that he is?
Well, then that's going to be even stupider.
Oh, man.
Yes, I said stupider, not more stupid, stupider.
All right, brother.
Well,
thank you.
Or stupid for listening to it.
I appreciate your time as always. Thank you so much for being an excellent co-host and saying ridiculous stuff to me. And yeah. All right. Have a great rest of 2021. By the time you listen to this, it's New Year's Eve, or you've already gotten into 2022 by the time you're listening. So, I don't know how much time we'll take off before we come back, but we will be back at some point in 2022 with some more fun stuff to talk about. Bye.